Welcome to my review of The New Mutants, directed and written by Josh Boone, starring Anya Taylor-Joy, Maisie Williams, Blue Hunt, Henry Zaga, and Charlie Heaton. Hard to believe it is finally here, but it is finally. I've seen it, so we have to talk about it. We follow 5 young mutants just discovering their abilities while they're held in a secret facility against their will until they decide to try and fight for their way out. There's lots of jokes that have been thrown out there about the delays of this film. I've thrown them out myself. There's lots of diatribes that I could go on about the delays of this film and how they affected, and sometimes it is noticeable in the film some of the behind the scenes issues that it had, but I'll get to that when I get to my issues. Let's, as always, start with the good part, because there are many good parts in The New Mutants. First and foremost, the performances from all these 5 young actors are spectacular. We know from The Fault in Our Stars that Josh Boone is great at directing his actors, and he proves it again in this film. Some of these actors we recognize from a few other places. Charlie Heaton from Stranger Things, Maisie Williams from Game of Thrones, Anya Taylor-Joy from Split and Glass. They are fantastic in here, as you expect. Blue Hunt and Henry Zaga, who I myself have not seen ever before, are just as good in this film. And these performances are not only helped by the direction, but because the script gives a lot to these characters. Something that the X-Men movies always excel at, and the comics as well, is that these characters are inherently very relatable, very understandable, very compelling, and at their core very human despite the literal mutation that they have, giving them superpowers. But all these characters shine because they are human. The film doesn't focus so much on their abilities, but what really makes them stand out and be individuals unto themselves and not just be copies of each other is their human qualities and faults. Another thing to highlight is Josh Boone, not only as a director of actors, which I've already mentioned, but a director of scene. He can really craft a great horror scene. Josh Boone again understands the qualities of horror and what horror can bring out in very human stories. He understands how to study and showcase fear and what fear does to a person. Josh Boone takes his time at really showing the fears of these 5 people. The film explores their fears because of something going on, because of someone having a power to explore and exploit other people's fears. And Boone doesn't feel the need to scare you right away from the get-go. He teases you, he lures you in through these characters and through the levels of comfort that they are at in trying to confront their fear. And that's the biggest theme of this film, is growing into facing and surpassing your fear. And all of the characters have their respective arcs when it comes to that. And another thing that helps highlight the horror sequences, and of course the film just in general, is the cinematography. The film has a very constant claustrophobic feel to it. These people are trapped in this house, they feel uncomfortable and feel like they're being watched 90 to 95% of the time. They try to find this place of solace in this attic, and that's when you see the first kind of camaraderie and dynamics start to form, because at first they're very closed out, they're very against each other, and you understand that because not only of what you come to learn about these characters throughout the film, but of course because of their current situation. So the writing for these characters is just really well executed all around. This is some of the finest work character-wise I've seen in all of 2020, maybe even 2017 if you go by the original movie's release date. As far as issues are concerned, and there are a few issues, you can feel the film rushing through its first and third act. The second act, I feel it's the most solid one. I feel like it's the one that stayed most true to its original form as Boone envisioned it. And maybe I'm wrong about the first and the third, maybe they're not behind the scenes issues, but I do feel that they're just a little bit rushed, one and the other. You can also tell the film wanted to do at least a bit more with Dr. Reyes and her superiors that she keeps talking about in the film. I'm not going to say anything else about those, I guess we could call it characters, and there's a few elements that you feel the film could have explored more. Of course, maybe they did and it just got chopped off, but there are things in the film that you see that are just so freaking cool, and you can tell that Boone loves these elements of the comics. They could have done so much more with that. They could have integrated it more into the film, and unfortunately they just couldn't. Whether it was because they just couldn't, and I just feel that issue because of what is in fact in this film, or maybe it was in fact cut during the process, the messy process of making this film and trying to make it come out, and the merger and whatever else happened while this film was in the shelf waiting to be released. It is more than clear from this film and by his previous work that Josh Boone excels at character. So if Disney or DC or at this point even Sony is out there, hire this guy. Please let him make more comic book movies, and just other studios. Let this dude make more movies. Even A24, if you're watching, have Josh Boone make one of your horror movies. While I don't think this is going to be anyone's favorite film of the year, I definitely think the pros outweigh the cons. New Mutants is a very solid film, a very brisk 90 minutes watch filled with great tension, great characters, some very incredible to watch sequences that will put a very geeky smile on your face like I did. Bill Sienkiewicz, I think, would be proud of this adaptation of its storyline, even with its faults. I'm giving New Mutants a B. Now, my beautiful geekies, what did you think of the New Mutants? It's been so long. I hope wherever you are in the world, you get a chance to watch it. And once you do, let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you read the original comics storyline. Thank you so much for watching, my beautiful geekies. You are the best. Stay tuned for the next videos to come. I have many more reviews coming your way very soon, so I hope to see you there. Until the next video, please do not forget to stay beautiful, stay geeky, and of course, like, share, and please do subscribe because it helps me and the channel out. But most importantly, above everything else, forever and always, love each other and love the movies.